Luis, just how big was this victory, aside from the controversy for Barcelona, given that it now has them first in La Liga?
Yeah, and I'm sure that we're going to talk a lot during this week about if that penalty that it was given to Barcelona, and it was not the same one that we saw in the other end, because it was Koundé fighting with the striker of Rayo Vallecano, and I think we could call it that it was very similar, and it was not is not given to Rayo Vallecano. So in the end, it wasn't the best game of Football Club Barcelona, that's for sure. It wasn't probably not even the best 45 minutes, because it's been, at times, I think that Rayo Vallecano played toe-to-toe to this Barcelona side. But in the end, we saw the resilience of this Barcelona, solid performance. Not maybe the control that I'm sure the Hansi Flick likes to have during a game. But in the end, they have 3 points. Important point. Today was, after seeing what Atletico de Madrid did yesterday, or Real Madrid did yesterday before, it was about getting the 3 points. No matter how, no matter what, try to get the result. And, well, you are not on the top of the table, so you can look down, and it's on you to continue up there.
That's the thing, Ale. We could pick apart this Barcelona performance, but given what happened with Atleti, given the door that was opened by Real Madrid, it's a huge 3 points from a team that hasn't always delivered when they had that opportunity.
No, and to that end, of course, huge 3 points, and certainly under the circumstances where everybody else has failed around you, you are able to get the maximum points. And so that in itself should be something that Barcelona builds upon. You can build upon the first 30 minutes as well. They were dominant in the first 30 minutes. What Hansi Flick, I think, would focus on is what happened in the next 60. Why did we lose control of this match? We were in full control, full dominance in the first 30 minutes. What can we do to make sure that that is the case for 90 minutes? I think Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, the bigger question that we have to ask ourselves is either one or any of these teams, any of these 3 teams, good enough to actually be consistent enough over the course of 10 games, where we see actually create separation? And if one of these teams is able to do that over the course of the next 10 matches, then we're looking at the champion. But you cannot sit here and make an argument for any one of them and say, yep, that's my team. That's the team I trust. We talked about it in the pregame, because quite frankly, they have not given us a reason to trust them. In fact, I would go the opposite way. All 3 teams have given us reasons to say, I don't know. Really, I'm not sure. Right now, Barcelona look like the best one of the 3. They look the same way at the beginning of the season. Big question then becomes for Hansi Flick and his player, maintaining a level of performance that allows them to get 3 points at a time.
They're first place. There's 14 games to go. They've got the tiebreakers. Luis, are you comfortable enough right now to call them league title favorites? Maybe not huge favorites, but favorites among the 3.
No, not at all, because we had the same question made like 3 weeks ago about Real Madrid. Are we considering Real Madrid favorites to win La Liga? And we said the same. Still too early, because both of the teams, well, actually the 3 of the teams that are at the top, they are going to drop points. And that's going to continue like this. The league is very competitive. There are a lot of games that they come thick and fast. Let's don't forget, Champions League is going to get back. Copa del Rey is going to get back. So in the end, you need rotation. You need to maintain what Alice mentioned. You need to maintain that style of play, that results every single weekend, because in the moment that you drop 1 or 2 points, you know that the ones behind you are chasing. So I don't see Barcelona favorite. I see that they are in a great moment once again. I see that from the 3 of them, they look more enjoyable to watch. You see an idea over there from Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid. You can see that at some games you can see something, in some others you can see that there is just because of the talent that they got on the field. But definitely it's very difficult to call one of them as a favorite. So I think that for all of us that they are watching the race of La Liga is fantastic, because it's really, really open, and hopefully we can see it until the end of the season. But right now, very difficult to call a favorite.
Luis, I want to ask you about the situation with Jules Koundé. He doesn't start the game today. We found out in the pre-match it was because he was late to a team meeting. Apparently, this is not the first time that this has happened this season. It's been an ongoing issue between he and Hansi Flick. How big a problem is that for Barcelona?
Actually, it's not a problem. I mean, of course, it was a problem, because you can see that Hector Ford is a fantastic young player, young talent, but you could see that the intentions of Barcelona in that right side, it wasn't the same when Koundé is, and actually Koundé has been fantastic for the past 2-3 months, being very aggressive, arriving in moments where Barcelona needed, scoring goal, assisting. So you can see that the Barcelona felt it in the first 45 minutes. But rules are rules, and I think that if Hansi Flick wants to have the control of this Barcelona side, and you make those rules from the very beginning, you cannot jump on them just once. It happens to Iñaki Peña at some point. If you are allowed to this to happen, you can lose the control of the dressing room, a dressing room full of egos, full of top players, full of players who need to understand that if one rule is made for everyone, no one can jump it. It doesn't matter how you are called or how well you are playing. So in the end, I think it's a fantastic decision from Hansi Flick. No one is outside of this box. Everyone has to push to the same direction.
You agree, Ale? Right way to handle it from Flick?
Well, yeah, he's a repeat offender. Jules Koundé has happened this season at Alaves, where he was late and didn't start the game. And so because he's a repeat offender, not only do I not start him, I don't play him. Now, that's just me. I know it's different when you're in the hot seat and you need to win a game and you see that Hector Ford is giving up some spaces down the right-hand side and you're like, okay, we need somebody that can come and help us, and you have Jules Koundé sitting on the bench, and so therefore you use him. That's Hansi Flick. From my perspective, repeat offender, already benched you at one time, you're doing it again, it's now 4 times that you've done this, I don't play you. But that's just me. Other people may see it differently.
Is it that big a deal for a coach, Stevie?
Yeah, I don't. This is a tough one because, in essence, you're punishing everybody because this guy was late. Now, it's not the movies where everything all turns out lovely. It just doesn't work that way. So why are you punishing everybody else because this guy was late to a meeting? You figure out a way of hurting them. Whether it's you keep doubling the money up and it becomes a ridiculous amount of money, you've got to find a way. You've got to find a way without punishing the team. Why are you punishing the team? We've just been sitting here talking about how tight it is, how important this victory is to get themselves on the top of the tree. But you're going to hamstring yourself before you kick a ball. That makes no sense to me. Yes, you've got to punish them, but you've got to find a different way at this stage of the season.
Mario, if you're his teammate, what are you saying to Jules Koundé here?
Look, if you're more experienced, you definitely pull him to the side. But what Stevie said, yeah, you know, when you're in a team, you're in the difficult situation. It's a hard one, and financially, look, people will always jump on us and say like, oh, don't worry about the financial side. Trust me, it hurts. When you hear 1 week, then you hear the second week, then it starts hurting because I know that at some teams, if you get a red card, they sometimes, take some money, especially if it's a stupid one. So for him now to come late, oh my God, I know that they used to double the amount of fines. So if they keep doubling it, it could be something that is extraordinary. Just for him, you just, come on, the last couple of games, he's doing well for the team. The team needs him, he's an important player. You don't want to miss a guy like that.
But to the point about the teammates, there is enough experience, although we have talked about this Barcelona team as being very young, there's enough experience in this group to not only pull him aside, but actually have a stern conversation with him.
Is that where it has to come from, the teammates?
Well,
Because clearly from the coach, the punishment's not sinking in.
Oh, sorry, it's gone.
Yes. So, from the teammate's perspective.
Yeah, from everybody's perspective, the fact the guy's a repeat offender clearly doesn't make any difference who talks to him. Maybe the only person he needs to listen to is his wife or his partner, because generally when you go home and you tell your partner, oh, by the way, you know that 300 grand that we're getting this week, we're not getting it. Then you'll find what pressure is.
Yeah.
Ale?
No, all I'm suggesting is when it comes to this sort of stuff, my experience, players tend to be more open to their teammates than they are to the position of authority. And teammates, if indeed you have a close relationship with Jules Koundé, then you can have the same conversation, to your point, Stevie, in which you're saying, look, whatever is it that is going on in your life that doesn't allow you to be on time, which is a very basic thing to do, how about you don't think just about yourself, you think about the fact that if you're not on the field, you're hurting the rest of us. So while maybe this is too much for you, being on time, maybe look at it from the perspective of it's not just about you, it's about the rest of us. That would be my conversation. I don't know if it would make a difference or not, but that would be my conversation.